Greetings, this is the Questing GM. Today is day 28 for RPG A Day 2021. And the word of the day is open. I used to believe in the open nature of RPGs. The freedom of you can do anything in this game. Used to, because over time spent in the hobby, my experience with many gamers are anything but. In recent years, I've decided to break the mold of my gaming, trying to smell more roses that the hobby has to offer from past, present, and future. For a hobby that celebrates openness, I have been met with more rejections for trying to approach things in new or just different ways than to be able to find someone who is just willing to listen for a while. Openness, I think, is what makes this hobby more interesting than we let ourselves to believe. I think being more open in the hobby can make it a lot healthier. So in the spirit of trying to spread positivity, I'm going to urge more openness in a few ways. Being open to new games. We all have that one game that we love, one that we may have grown up with, and one that we will always play. But that should not be the reason to discount other games that is not your game. They can be liked by people for the same reasons you like yours. I can understand it can be hard to learn a new game, but with a group that is willing to learn together, delving into new games expands your options of games that you can play for different occasions and cravings. Even the best games get old and burn out after a while, and often the remedy is just to play another game. And who knows, you might just find your next favorite game. Playing new games is also pretty much essential for the budding game designer, because new games give you the exposure to seeing how different mechanics work and what has already been done before in other games. Being open to new playstyles. Sometimes, new games might require a new playstyle or a different approach to the game. This usually means stepping out of your comfort zone, but I think RPGs are far more forgiving for experimenting than other pursuits. This could also apply to how you perceive others playing the game. Being open to try to understand how they play could increase your own repertoire as a player, but also knowing when is the right solution for the right problem. Accepting other playstyles doesn't have to mean adopting them, but knowing where you can or cannot make compromises so that everyone on the table can have fun, rather than forcing your way through to get your own fun. I value being more adaptable as a player than being a one-trick pony in RPGs. After all, isn't RPGs offering us to be someone else? Try different styles yourself, and you may find yourself being more adaptable to more and different groups with their own playstyles. Sticking to only one playstyle may limit the groups that you can play with. And unless you only intend to play solo, which is also a playstyle, it only gets harder to find more people to play with. Being open as a player. As a player in a group, be open to communicate to anyone for anything that happens in the game. Keeping your own thoughts bottled up when you should be expressing them only makes things worse for yourself. And not being willing to listen to what others have to say make things worse for the group. Maintaining an open communication channel with your fellow players is the first step to address any problems that the group might have. Being open as a game master. We often hear the advice for GMs to ask for feedback from the players, but being open to them could be easier said than done. Being open to feedback also means being open to criticisms, justifiably or not, and not letting yourselves get hurt. Sure, there will be some players who will take the opportunity to throw in some snide remarks, but they can also be valuable advice and opinion to help you take in stride. Being available and vulnerable is one way to open up communication to get meaningful feedback. Being open to new perspective, ideas, and thoughts. There are many ideas in RPGs and people who talk about RPGs. Not every discussion has to be an argument or debate. Even if someone says something that you disagree with, it's more productive for me and you to try to hear them out and ask before answering. What context is the other person saying it in? What is the point they're trying to get across? Is there anything of value or different than my own preconceptions? Can they reconcile? or needs further perspective. Maybe they are onto something that you have never thought of before. If it sounds implausible, maybe be willing to test it out first before concluding that it won't work. An idea cannot progress or develop without being open for discussion. Being open alone isn't enough. It gets tiresome when you are the only one knocking on doors to let others into yours, only to have them slam at your face. Think about what more can be done for the hobby by being open than closing doors at a moment's notice. Hopefully, in a hobby where everything is possible, we can have a more open hobby to talk about. One can only dream. How open are you in RPGs? The comment section below is open. If you would like to participate in RPG A Day 2021, you can refer to the links in the description. Or you can use the RPG A Day 2021 tag to delve into more RPG A Day content. So this is a Questing GM for now, and I'll see you on day 29.